Hello, just waiting for some people to come in the room. It's been a while. It's been a while. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Morning Garden Show. Hello, hello. I'm actually doing laundry at the same time. I'm online. Hey, thank you very much for the thumbs up. Whoever left that. Whomever left that. Yes. I'm feeling so good, so good. I've noticed a few more gray strands today, but what can you do? Biden gets match which affordable health insurance plan. Get a quote. Compare insurance plans and savings. Breaking news, Biden extends health insurance enrollment. Enroll now. I saw that when I went online first today, early part of the day. I can hardly wait when I get the opportunity to start pruning back the fruit trees because it's going to make a big difference. I got to say, I like some of the mechanical pruning techniques they use on big farms because I've watched some of the videos and they just simply say, okay, this height, this wide, and they go down the aisle and they just lop off whatever's extended past that point. Is there anybody home at all? Anybody? Anybody home? Anybody home? Anybody home? Fall seasoning gardening is on us right now. It's right at us. I'm going to start planting out some collard green seeds very soon in a tray, and then I'll move them out to the locations where I decide I want them. I say keep it secret home and garden tips. Let's see, what is the temperature today? Okay, now I believe you're referring to the temperature here in Maryland. Let me get that for you right now. It is now, according to my satellite information, it is 97 degrees. They'll put that out. They'll say 97, but it feels like because yesterday was I was driving along and okay, it'll today feels like 109. That's what they have here. So anyone in Maryland that's out there messing around the garden right at this moment, be extremely careful. Yeah, it's a very good way of putting it. It's very hot here. Yesterday felt like 106, but it was around 98 degrees. But when I was driving home, the temperature in the car hit 100. I remember that. And thank God I keep these cars, the older vehicles, which I love some of the older vehicles. I keep them running as best I possibly can. If I discover a problem or I stay on top of the maintenance, and I don't have any issues, any major issues. I change my oil before 3,000 miles anyway. I always change it like 2,500, 2,000. I change it that way. It's just something I do. Oil is, to me, is a good way of keeping your vehicle lasting longer. Yes, heat wave is happening here right now. We see Canada. Highest temperature today, watering early morning. Yep, you're doing everything correct. Watering early in the morning. We had, I think it was yesterday or the day before that, we had a really good amount of rain. So it saved me from going out this morning. I got my shed back running, folks. It's my shed where the door was damaged severely over years of neglect. The roof was pretty much gone, and so I got some guys in. They did the job. It's done. It felt good. Also, um, did some work on the vehicles this week. Got it all done. Am I feeling the pain now? Not much. My shoulder, I'm going to have to get looked at because it's still aggravating me, and it's been almost 4 months now. I don't know if it's a pinched nerve or um, a ruptured disc in the back. I'm not sure, but I keep on saying no. I don't want to go to the hospital because you know how us guys are. All right, now we got 2 thumbs up. I appreciate it very much. 2 people uh, should be in the room. Might be one person in the room because we always have. I don't know if you have this when you go online. There's always seem like a bot that comes into the room first. Boop, but it won't do anything, won't say anything, won't write anything, but it just comes in the room. Sort of like um, it's monitoring something. I don't know. And I got to check on my ginger that I'm growing and the potatoes because I grew some potatoes this year and kept them fed, kept them watered. Absolutely. Take care of your plants. Collard greens and kale this year. That's a good feeling to have them 2 in the ground. The potatoes flowering yet? Well, I didn't get any flowers. I know there's potatoes down there. I look for the plants to start dying back, and then that gives me an indication that I've gotten the growth or the maturity out of the plant. No, I didn't see any. I've never seen actually in all the years I've grown potatoes any flowering. I just see the potatoes. And these potatoes were given to me by a friend of mine that she gave them to me, and I don't think it was from a farm. So I've been holding on to some for seed potatoes. You know how it is. And I'll keep some of the ginger as well indoors. Let's see. My collard greens and kale are loving it. Green and lovely. I love to hear that news. Thank you. Um, yeah, I was waiting for to get them out there because I figured it was too warm right now here in Maryland. to put them out there. They'll germinate and grow, but I want that that sweetness that they come into, and they'll still get it if you wait until the cooler months. What's good, family? Finally caught you. Yes, you did. Thank you very much for trying it over and till we caught up with each other. This is the Morning Gardening Show, in case there's someone in the room that didn't know. I want to thank some of the gardeners that have been out there that have been uh, uh, giving positive feed on my show. I want to thank you. You know who you are. They've been mentioning my name. I appreciate that. Um, and it's just a good feeling to have someone mention your name and say, hey, I want to send this out to the Morning Gardener, or I've learned this from the Morning Gardener. And so that keeps the buzz out there so people know. I've been doing this for a lot of years. And I have gotten to the point where there's so many people that have over the years that I've been able to help with my information, and I'm happy about that. It's a good feeling. Believe me, it is. When I see people growing tomatoes and corn and potatoes and they're and not just in my private life. My private life is people that have been learning from me that are close to me, and they've been purchasing trees, fruit trees that is, and they've been starting gardens, all based on the information that I was able to acquire and give to them. So I'm happy about that. I've made an impact. It's a good feeling to be able to help. The only thing I will say is that I wish that uh, YouTube would have stayed, of course, the way it was before, because these videos used to pay a bit more. Now they, you know, you'd be like, wow, the whole year, $40 or whatever. Now some people are doing better, and congratulations to those who are, but they're putting, a lot of money in graphics and all kinds of soundtracks and that sort of thing. And I tend not to go that way. I just want to be able to give the information out. Get the information. You hit me up. You ask for some information. If I'm able to help you, I will do so. Um, and that is a good feeling. What is the best way to grow ginger? I'm in zone 8. Okay, best way to grow ginger is to put in some. If you're going to do it in a container, I've done mine in containers. You can do them in the ground as well. All you're going to do is you're going to dig a trench. You're going to loosen the soil up, and you're going to put them in, and I mean really loosen the soil up. I use if I'm going to put them in the ground, I use a manure fork, and I really go down 8 inches deep, and I loosen that soil up as far across as 15 inches, and as far down as 8 inches, and I loosen that soil up and give the plant, the root, a chance to just run out the way it wants to run. Anyway, you plant them down about 4 inches deep. You put them in the ground, and once you do that, you sprinkle all of the ingredients on that you want, such as organic fertilizers, such as bone meal. Bone meal is great for root plants. You put that on there. You put your bit of all-purpose organic plant food on top, and water that in, and monitor it. And when it starts sending that shoot up in a sunny location, or partially sunny and shade, it'll do well there as well. And when it starts sending that green shoot up, you're on your way to enjoying fresh ginger at a price you can afford, free. And that's a very good price. I did it many years ago. I purchased enough to fit in the palm of my hand, not the whole hand, but just the palm of my hand. I paid $1.25 for the ginger. And when I got to the counter, it was so small amount in the bag. I remember the look that the cashier looked at me and said, wow, you really want this, huh? It's nothing in the bag, really. But I knew what I was doing. I purchased it, got it home, put it in a pot, saved it throughout the winter. Um, As if you want to save them until you get to the get them outside, you want to put them in a pot, keep them moist, not wet but moist, and cover them over maybe about an inch and a half, 2 inches, and keep them in a pot. Keep them in a dark area, and you're all set. Do that, folks. And ginger, you will never buy again. I grew that ginger I had, the $1.25 worth, that could barely fit in the palm of my hand, or fit in the palm of my hand, and I grew it out. And when I grew it out, it was incredible. Um, I soon I had pounds of it from that. Then I would save some of the fresh ginger that I grew as seed for next year, and I kept doing that for years. And I kept drinking ginger, and I never went back to the store to buy ginger again. All right, let's see what we got here. You are growing pots. Yeah, I grow in the Walmart 18-gallon totes. That's what I grow in because I want to grow a lot of ginger. Put a hole in the side of it about an inch and a half, 2 inches above the bottom on each corner with a drill, and allow it to drain if necessary. But I want enough moisture to stay in there so that I'm not constantly watering. Um, at that point, you grow your ginger and you enjoy it and you eat it, or you drink it. You'll have more ginger than you know what to do with. And so you are growing in pots. This ginger regrow each year. Does ginger regrow each year? You need to replace each year. Well, in my particular zone, ginger grows, and when it gets cold or getting near the fall, where it's getting, the ginger plants will tell you when they're done, they'll start turning brown. But when they start turning brown, you reach in there, you got ginger galore. You got big roots and everything. You take most of the ginger, that's big, pretty pieces that you want to dry and put them uh, in the bottom of the refrigerator. Fine, but the other pieces, you clean up the long roots off of them. You put them in a pot. You cover them over with soil, and you save them till next year. That's how you do that. And you keep them just moist, not wet, not when you squeeze the water through the soil, just moist. And you might want to do a little bit of organic fertilizer on top, and you all set. Hey, anytime, you're welcome. But ginger is expensive. It's expensive. So why not grow it? Why not grow it? Why not grow it? Ginger is incredible. There's so many health benefits to it. It's a shame. Helps you when your stomach's crazy. Um, helps you relax when you get ready to go to sleep at night. Hello, Mooney Gardner and fellow gardeners. Thank you very much for stopping by. All right. Let's see. We got, when do you start your ginger? When the temperatures get around 50 degrees at night in the spring. When I see a consistent temperature of 50, that's when I take them out, put them in a big totes. And I put them in them totes. I make my own soil mix because it's cheaper that way, and I know what's in the soil. They charge you a great deal of money for these soil mixes. And when you find out what's in them, you're going to be mad at yourself because all it is topsoil with wood chips mixed into it. And they charge you $8 a bag, $10 a bag, $12 a bag, and they don't lose any sleep over that. You can do that yourself. You can do that yourself. You don't need to pay that amount of money for topsoil and wood chips. I have over 800 pounds of wood chips sitting out in my yard now that I had a tree, uh, uh, as they say, cut on, and they ground it, and they chopped them up, chipped them up, and drove to the location, dropped them for me, and that was it. I let them sit there for about a year and a half, 2 years, and they'll turn into the prettiest compost you ever want to see. Also, I keep forgetting to put down some material in a certain part of my yard so that I can get some big night crawlers in that location. I keep forgetting, but I'm going to remember the day to do it so that I have some worms to fish with this year. I do not go to Walmart and give them $8 a cup for a cup of 12 worms that are undersized. I get some of the biggest, prettiest night crawlers you ever want to see on my property. All you ever want to see. Big, pretty night crawlers. The night crawlers that make other night crawlers jealous. It's just another part of me. Another thing is I'm trimming back my trees, cutting up the wood that's from the cuttings, and thank you. Yeah, that was a little interesting. Um, the the wood is used to fertilize my trees. Why not? And I do that because it is cost effective to do that. Get some fruit on these trees, and I'm still going to. I have one, two, three. I have three. What they call them? Cherry trees that I'm going to cross, if you will, or graft. And when I do the grafting, it's going to be on because I am tired of. I got three that will not produce. Uh, they produce flowers but won't produce fruit because they don't have anything to uh, cross them with. That's all. Do you have a video on mixing your own soil mix? We can watch. Oh my God, that's a good question. Let me think. Let me think. Do I have a video? It probably is a ton of videos in there, but I apologize for not keeping them organized. So you can go ahead and be able to find them. But I can give it to you. You want to get the inexpensive from Lowe's or Home Depot. The inexpensive soil. It's a soil that's called topsoil. You take that topsoil. It's pretty. It's a pretty soil. They call it a filler. I'll look. Okay. Um, it's called a filler. But you use that, and you get 50% of peat moss. And also, if you want to really get fancy, and that's another thing I like to use fancy, but I like to use a little bit of perlite or vermiculite, either or, and you use 10% of that. But you want to use 50% of the topsoil and use the same equal amounts of peat moss, and then you want to use a bit of perlite. I usually use about 10%, and you mix this up, and you got some pretty soil. The same stuff that's in the bags that they charge you $12 for, $15 for. You can make that stuff yourself. I use a child kitty swimming pool to mix this stuff up in. Now you got a real small one. You can get a little bigger one if you feel it's easier to work with. But I use the real tiny one that look like a turtle. Um, so that's what I use. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, just use that recipe, and you'll be quite satisfied with that. Um, Mix it up, then you add your fertilizer to it, which is any depending on what you're growing. Like I said, when you're doing root crops, you want to add the bone meal. You want to add that, and you want to also add some all-purpose organic plant food. Add the two together, and you got something to work with. That's what you want to do, and you'll be quite happy with the results. You do not want to spend a lot of money in these gardens. They got you programmed and brainwashed to do that. And the same people that are coming on here, some of them as fellow gardeners, and he's telling you, go to my channel and buy this, or go to what's the other place called Amazon and buy this. You'll see the link below mine, whatever. And when you see the link, when you go to the link and you click on the link, say they get paid for it, so they'll say anything. You want to make sure that you're not paying through the nose, because you got to remember, trees, plants, vegetables were here long before we ever came on this planet. And they didn't need no box stores then, and they don't need box stores now. So do the best you can. A lot of farm waste today is just grounded up, cooked, and when you get that waste, whether chicken feathers or guts or blood or bones or whatever, they ground all that stuff up, and and there's your fertilizer. Okay, it does right well, quite well. If you have a farm that you're raising animals such as rabbits or such certain types of birds, that is prime fertilizer. Rabbits is the best because it's not very hot, but chickens is great. But you gotta let it cool down first. Don't ever rush to put it on your garden without letting it cool down. It's very hot, high in nitrogen. Um, I've seen videos where man came out and dumped a whole 18 wheeler full of dead pigs, covered them up with this large amount of compost, and let them wait it out, and then they grounded everything up. All you saw at one point when they let it sit there for a period of time, all you saw was bones, and they grounded all that up into the compost, making some pretty stuff. But remember, compost is from anything basically that died, that once was alive. Compost comes from that. That's what plants eat. The whole truth about it is plants eat anything that was once alive. It goes back into the earth, everything. Oh, this is a jug that I repurposed. You ever see me drinking out of it? This is a repurposed jug. This is filtered water in here. I freeze it overnight and I drink it throughout the day. Mm-hmm. Ah, ice cold. That was cold. Oh, I like that. Oh, that hit the spot. I saw a video today. No, excuse me. I keep saying video. It was a picture and it was some pretty crab cakes. Almost had me running out buying crab cakes. But if I gotta go out, I'm not going out there in 99-degree weather, 100-degree weather. I'm not going out there in that to get no crab meat. Crab meat is marked up to the absolute highest point I've seen this year. The Lord willing, I will be out there crabbing somewhere. I gotta find a spot. The old spots I used to go to 20 years ago, some of them, they all been altered by man, where they got no parking, uh, no fishing or crabbing from the bridge, none of all this kind of stuff. So you want to be careful. Let's see what we got here. Urban girl gardening. Hello, how you doing? How you doing? I don't believe I've met you before. Maybe I have. Well, welcome very much. I'm just talking my regular smackety smack about gardening, which I love to talk about and share information. And I hope that all of you benefit from the information I'm sharing. Because other people want to sell it to you. Okay, let's just be real about it. They want to sell it to you. We got all kind of methods to get it out there and put a price tag onto it. All right. Oh man, I feel good. I'm going to plant out my. I got to go see how my okra's doing, because I think my okra's. I don't know. I think it's doing okay. Got a lot of rain yesterday. Well, now all I have in here is ice. So, beautiful. Thank you very much. All right, Miss Lisa, telling everybody hello. It's a good way to come into the room is and let everybody know you're thinking of them. I get phone calls on the regular. People call me up and they ask me about their gardens. Um, I didn't I didn't plan on it to get to that point where people are calling me up and asking me questions. However, it works for me if I can help them. If they follow the information. One gentleman used to write it down. Used to work with him. He used to write the information down, which let me know that he was definitely serious about what the information he was getting. He would write it down, and so he's into gardening now. Bought a property, and he's growing, and it helps relax you folks when you have a really screwed up day at work or dealing with life in general. You get it on the way to work when people are riding motorbikes near your car, popping wheelies. Um, you see people on the streets because they're escalating in this new thing that they're doing, which they're putting people out because of uh, not paying of rent, and a lot of it due to covert, and people are being set out. So you're gonna see a drastic larger number of people that are homeless in the streets and on the corners when you drive by. It's going to be there. Um, and I say keep your gardens going, uh, and really just try to learn from your garden because it talks to you every day you go out there. I have a cherry tree in my yard that I put in there. They said was going to be a small cherry to medium cherry. No, it's not. Large cherries it produce. Well, on my property, it produces large cherries. I don't know the name of it right now, but I got to tell you, it produces. And the great thing about it, it produces cherries on its own. It doesn't need another partner cherry tree. It just produces on its own, and I'm happy about that. And this year, all I got from it was three cherries because the tree is very young, and but it's growing like crazy. So I need to get this tree in check, if you follow what I mean. It needs to stay in check because cherry trees, unlike other fruit trees, they are subject to grow big. They just do. They love to grow. They put on large amounts of wood, and you need to keep that wood in check because if the tree is programmed to just grow wood, it's going to grow wood and leaves and very little on the way of cherries. Oops, sorry for me gardening. I do a lot watering. It's really something and improve starting gardens again 7 years ago. Hello, yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. I found that one of the main mistakes that gardeners make is with watering. Main mistake. Main mistake people make with gardening is watering. They water at the wrong time, or they water too much, or they water too little. And when you overwater, I'll give you a good example. Cherries will crack when you get a heavy rain. If you haven't been steadily keeping up with their watering on a regular basis, they will crack. Uh, it makes the cherry look ugly. It draws insects to the tree when they crack open. They smell that sugar and they go for it. So that being said, tomatoes are the same thing. Regular, deep waterings, um, depending on what the the rain is like in your area. I use this one indicator. I poke in the ground up to this knuckle, and when I poke it in the ground, if it's moist, I leave things alone. If it's dry, they get water. In the slightest amount of watering, of moisture, I leave things alone. Um, I got a lot of things to do today, folks, so I'm gonna cut this short. I know. Um, but it's been really good, and I need each of you to remember the only thing I would like for you to do is to continue gardening. You're going to see more people start to garden because when you go to the stores, I want you to start paying closer attention to the prices of food, from meats to vegetables to fruit. We have seen a significant markup here in Maryland, and it hasn't ended yet. So, on that note, I want each of you to remember, take care of your garden, it'll take care of you, and remember to keep on growing. Thank you. This has been the Morning Gardener Show.